Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
I'm wearing a golden cup.
And I am Christian.
Welcome to episode 326, Judgment Day.
In your house.
Man, I'm trying to remember how the song goes.
In your house. Whoa, 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 in your house.
That's not even the one I was thinking of. I was just thinking of the generic pay-per-view song where it's like...
Oh, the Linda McMahon song?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
I can also see a tagline being, learn how to spell. Everyone spells judgment incorrectly.
Yep. I always just wait for autocorrect to fix it for me because I'm like, is there an E or not to E? That is the question.
Not to E.
Yeah.
No. We haven't got the F out yet.
So this is the 25th In Your House, produced by the WWF. It would take place on October 18th, 1998, from the Rosemont Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois, with an attendance of 18,153 and a buy rate of 305,000.
Dang.
Firing on all cylinders.
That's a lot of people in your house.
We're also in a wrestling town.
Yes.
Rosemont Horizon, famous wrestling building. So, people are coming out.
It's had a few shows.
Yeah, just a couple, a handful. Two or three.
But we are in Rosemont, a.k.a. suburb of Chicago.
We are.
So, Shane, did you do what you do?
And how? Here we are in Rosemont, Illinois, outside of Chicago, 3 hours away from Springfield, something like that. So I did what I do, and I looked up what the hell do people eat or drink or whatever, what's special about Rosemont, what's the signature sandwich of Illinois, and I stumbled upon something that looked a little bit familiar. We've had a variation of this before, but I decided that we're going to go back to our roots with this one, and I found an article on thetastingtable.com that says, sometimes inspiration hits in the most unexpected ways. Consider the horseshoe sandwich. Beloved in Illinois, it's a bit of a conundrum to outsiders. A mishmash of unexpected ingredients that, for some unknown reason, work together in harmony. And it all came together because an early 20th century chef had a bad case of cook's block. The lesser known and maybe a bit tongue-in-cheek cousin of writer's block, cook's block is the equivalent of culinary burnout. Chefs and home cooks may have a pantry full of extraordinary ingredients, but nothing strikes a chord. And this is kind of how the horseshoe sandwich came to fruition. Conceived by Joe Schweska, an Illinois chef who had been unsuccessfully racking his brain to come up with a new and innovative menu offering to feature in the Red Lion Room in Leland Hotel in Springfield, Illinois. The horseshoe sandwich is an everything but the kitchen sink take on ham and cheese sandwich. Schweska's wife, Elizabeth, set the wheels in motion when she mentioned a dish by the name of Welsh Rarebit, a now iconic British open-faced sandwich, which is simply melted cheese sauce drizzled over toast. Schweska took the simple concept and ran with it, adding horseshoe-shaped ham and 8 potato wedges, and the horseshoe sandwich was born.
I bet it was more like he got ripped on Malort and needed something to soak up the booze.
That's very possible. It says that it started off with ham and cheese. These days, a grilled beef patty is a common replacement for Schweska's sliced ham, but sausage, bacon, corned beef, grilled chicken, buffalo chicken, pork tenderloin, fried chicken cutlets, and even vegetarian option built with thick slices of tomato are among a long list of acceptable alternatives.
Protein of your choice.
Yes. So I went with, where the hell can I have something delivered that has meat and cheese and fries and cheese sauce and stuff? And the first thing that popped in my mind was Arby's.
They got all the meats.
Yeah, Arby's got the meats. And I considered ordering what they refer to as their meat mountain, because it has basically all of those meats: roast beef and turkey and ham and chicken, and probably a burger patty on there now because Arby's has burgers too. But I didn't want to pay that much for it, and I looked on the DoorDash app, and ham and cheese sandwiches from Arby's were 20% off. So
there you go.
I went with those, and then I thought, all right, well, Arby's has a cup of cheddar, but cup of cheddar doesn't necessarily travel all that well, and it gets all nice and congealed and puddingy. So I scrolled through their sides and saw they have white cheddar mac and cheese, and I thought, well, if all else fails, I could add a little bit of milk to this, creamy it up a little bit more. So what we have here for the Shane-style horseshoe is an Arby's ham and cheese sandwich served open face with a portion of their white cheddar mac and cheese layered on top of it, covered in some of their crinkle cut French fries, and then just because they sent Arby's sauce, I drizzled Arby's sauce over the top of it. I also hit it with a little bit of paprika on top of the mac and cheese because it calls for a beer cheese sauce. But since we didn't have a beer cheese sauce, I used the mac and cheese, and then you're supposed to sprinkle the paprika on top of the beer cheese sauce. So I just let the mac and cheese fully take the place of the beer cheese sauce.
I think it was a good replacement.
Yeah, it ain't bad at all.
I devoured it, and now I'm sleepy, trying to wake myself up.
And see, aren't you glad I didn't get the meat mountain? Because holy shit, I'd probably still be plating it up.
Yeah, I was so hungry, and now I don't even want to look at your plate.
But yeah, old Mr. Chef Sweska, if you're still with us and you're listening, which I'm sure you are, thank you for the inspiration. Arby's, thank you for the meats. And Michael, thank you for letting us do this in your house. So
of course.
I'll just take my soundless bite. I mean, I got my plate in front of me so I can make it sound like I'm cutting stuff up here, even though I've already got it on my fork. It's not going to make any noise, but here we go. 1, 2, 3 into the microphone. Squish.
A real gross noise.
So what's the judgment?
Another. I'll take another bite.
I think he said I love it. Arby's has always gotten a bad rap, but I think that's just from a handful of Simpsons jokes.
I mean, Arby's deserves a lot of the bad rap sometimes.
Yeah, but when it's good, it's good.
I don't have an issue with Arby's.
When it's good, it's good. There's been times where I was like, what the hell were you thinking? Why would you even serve this to anybody?
Yeah, I think that has more to do with, whoever's putting the stuff together.
And my main beef with Arby's is if you're going to have a Jamocha shake that calls yourself chocolate and coffee flavored, give it some coffee flavor. Don't just give it this, like, chef's kiss of coffee because there's no flavor to it at all. It just tastes like a watered down chocolate shake. But other than that, I don't typically have a beef with Arby's.
I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's. That's the Simpsons joke I always think of. But they took some pot shots at Arby's over the years. That's just the one that's the most memorable to me.
Say one year for Halloween I was going to be Wendy from Wendy's, but have the Arby's logo. I'm thinking an Arby's over my head just because those were my two go-tos back in my... I'm going to eat out at fast food because those were the two places that were closest to my house. So many a time I've had a roast beef with a spicy chicken sandwich.
You know what I would like to see? I guess it's too late now, but if we had back in the day of Celebrity Deathmatch, Wendy versus Pippi Longstocking.
Yeah.
In the spirit of wrestling. Just popped in my head.
Well, something that would happen right around the same time as Judgment Day, a pair of films would come to theater the same weekend.
2 very different films, Matt. This is crazy.
I've seen one of them.
I've seen them both.
Happiness and Practical Magic. So, Happiness is the one you saw?
Oh, totally. Nope. Oof. I saw the one about witches.
I saw Happiness before I saw Practical Magic. Guys, I watched Practical Magic probably like a month or 2 before I moved for the first time.
Really?
I think I had just gotten over being sick and but went back to work for the first day. I was still tired. I was better, but not 100%. And I came home and I just took a shower, laid down on my bed, and I was like, I'm going to watch something and then just go straight to sleep. And I watched Practical Magic, and I was charmed.
Isn't it great?
It was fun.
Hey, nice little wordplay there.
Did you hear there was a sequel coming?
Yes.
I did not. I thought it was fun. The main reason I watched it was because I was like, well, two pretty ladies in a movie that if I fall asleep, I won't be mad that I fell asleep about. But I made it to the end.
Two pretty ladies that seem to somehow get prettier during the entire movie too, because they're already knockouts, and then once they
use their magic.
Yeah, they're also like in their prime era of babedom.
Yes, but I mean, you had the Nicole Kidman, the Sandra Bullock, you had the duo of Diane Wiest and Stockard Channing.
Yeah, very good together. It's the sassy auntie witches.
Yes, I'm trying to remember the guys that were in it. Aidan Quinn, was he one of them? No.
Who played the FBI?
Aidan Quinn, Goran Visnik, or however you say his name.
Yeah, the guy from ER.
Yeah. Margot Martindale's in it, so you know it's a good movie.
Oh, yeah. You can't go wrong with Margot Martindale. Aidan Quinn, Evan Rachel Wood was in it. I didn't realize that. Yeah. Goran Visnik.
No, she's one of the little girls, right?
Chloe Webb, another ER standout, also famous for Shameless Mom, drug addict. Mark Firestein, I forgot he was in there.
Didn't we talk about Griffin Dunn?
We have before.
A few weeks ago.
Oh.
He directed this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what did we talk about before?
No, it blew my mind because when I watched this, I saw it was reading the credits at the beginning of the movie, and it's directed by Griffin Dunn. And I was like, you like American Werewolf and After Hours? And I Googled it, and sure enough, that was the case. But I was like, that's crazy. I never knew he directed a movie.
Yeah, he directed the movie Addicted to Love with Meg Ryan and Matthew Broderick. I mean, this was like in 96, I think. Dark romantic comedy. People trying to get back with their exes who, end up falling for each other.
I mean, literally, this is like the biggest movie he ever directed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it blew my mind. When I saw that, I was like, I did not know that he ever directed anything, and it's funny that he's directed this movie.
Okay. He was also in the French Dispatch,
Never did another one.
Just to tie it back to...
Not very much success at it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this movie was a big hit, but it is well liked.
It wasn't a small hit because it had a
had
following.
Kidman and Bullock in it. But.
Yeah.
I mean, it had a budget of $75 million. It only made $46 million worldwide.
Yeah, and then it
It
probably
was better on video.
It was definitely a flop at the theater.
Yeah, it was a video.
Okay.
What's your favorite witch movie?
I like The Witch with 2 V's quite a bit. I've seen that movie a bunch of times. It's very watchable, and yeah, of all the like modern horror movies, I've probably seen it the most. I'm trying to think of other witch movies that I like. Suspiria, the original and the remake are up there for me, but I like weirdo bullshit.
The Craft.
I've never seen The Craft.
You gotta watch The Craft. A 90s gem.
Yeah. There's not a lot of...
Hocus Pocus.
Obviously one of the best movies ever made. Wizard of Oz.
Well, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I didn't even think of that as a witch movie. That's crazy. I was like trying to think of witch movies, and I'm like, it's like,
Teen
oh,
Witch.
I mean, yes, Teen Witch, Halloween Town, Craft.
Witches
Those are the ones that like.
Witches of
when you
Eastwick,
think
I like that movie. I don't like The Witches or the remake of The Witches.
Actually, I think I have seen part of The Witches. Now that I'm remembering back.
The original's better than the
funky makeup.
remake. The remake's horrific.
Bed knobs and broomsticks. Technically, Angela Lansbury's she's a witch.
Bewitched. I liked that show a lot as a kid.
Maleficent apparently is.
Yeah,
that's one.
Maleficent.
There's a witch in Rosemary's Baby.
Wicked.
There is, but it's not a witch movie.
It's not a witch movie. I mean, it's as much of a witch movie as Wizard of Oz.
I think Wizard of Oz is more.
I was literally like,
kidding.
Making a joke.
I think Wizard of Oz is more of a witch movie because there's 2 of them.
Spy You is a witch movie apparently.
Yeah, there's a voodoo.
The is there witches in that though? That's a Sam Raimi, right?
No, it's
There's a weird Sam Raimi like gothic southern movie.
Spy You is like a 1997
Cassie Lemons movie.
I'm trying to think of witch
Samuel L.
movies.
Jackson.
I guess The Witch might be my favorite one that is about a witch that I can think of, like specifically.
We also got the Blair Witch Project.
And so I don't even really consider that one a witch movie.
It's not that great. I've recently rewatched it. It's not that great.
No, I never understood the hype of that movie. I think it was just because it was shot to look like a home video and people were seriously thinking it was a real, based on a true story thing.
Yeah, there are
we watched
there are
that
things
one,
that happen in that movie that you kind of go, This is a bad decision.
I guess for me it would be
Filmmaking.
it would be The Witch and the two Suspiria films, and then if we're counting it, Wizard of Oz is probably number one with a bullet. But if you're looking for more horror or spooky, at least. I mean, Hocus Pocus I watched a million times as a kid, and I like that movie.
Yeah.
But
And then I mentioned Happiness. That was just more just to make Michael
Michael
smile.
I had to look that one up because I'm like, I don't know if I've ever heard of this one even.
I always get them mixed up because I watched them around the same time. Happiness and Me, You, and Everyone I Know, which are two films that have some upsetting stuff in it. But Happiness is the one with, it's not William H. Macy. It's the guy the ugly guy.
Willem Dafoe.
John Lovitz, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Is this the one where the dad drugs the kid at the sleepover?
There's many different stories.
Yeah, but there's the one that's like the most horrific shit you ever fucking heard of. But Happiness is, the title is firmly planted in cheek.
Here's the
Synopsis.
IMDb synopsis for you, Shane.
Okay.
A woman breaks up with her boyfriend. He thinks it's because he's fat. A man is unable to tell his next-door neighbor that he finds her sexually attractive. An old couple wants to split up, but they don't want to get a divorce. A therapist masturbates to teen magazines. An 11-year-old is insecure about the fact that he hasn't masturbated yet.
Wow.
Office workers try to recall the face of a coworker who recently died. A woman is sure that she has everything she could ever want. The lives of these individuals intertwine as they go about their lives in their own unique ways, engaging in acts which society as a whole might find disturbing, in a desperate search for human connection.
I mean, one of them is so illegal and maybe the most disgusting thing you can do as a human being. And that's the story I remember the most because it was obviously very disturbing and upsetting. But Happiness, it will not leave you feeling well.
The wild cast in this movie.
Yeah.
Holy
Incredible
shit.
cast.
It's an incredible cast.
Yeah, because
It is one of those films that it is very much like you're either going to think it is incredible or you were going to be disgusted.
I mean, you've got.
I think you can.
John
I think you
Lovitz,
can feel both ways.
Philip Seymour.
I mean, you can feel both ways, but you're
yeah.
never going to leave that movie and go,
That
"That was
didn't.
okay."
Or that didn't.
Boyle.
You're not going to leave it and be like, I was unaffected by that.
And then there's Louise Lasser, star of Mary Hartman. That one threw me.
Yeah.
Cameron Manheim, she's in a lot of things. Molly Shannon, love her.
It's Todd Solondz. You've seen.
Welcome to the Dollhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same guy.
Yep, I had to look up what all he had done. I was like, okay, well that's one I know I've seen.
Those are the only two of his that I've seen.
Yeah.
But
And I looked
I
up
mean,
and
this is
saw
only two that really ever
Life
did
During
anything.
Wartime is the sequel to this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be interested to watch.
And then
more
it
of
looks
his
like they've
movies.
recasted with more, I guess, some more well-known people. You've got Allison Janney in that one, Ali Sheedy.
But yeah,
Paul Reubens.
Happiness. If you decide to watch that movie, watch it at your own discretion, and be prepared to be bummed out.
Yeah. I mean, you can email us, tell us that you watched it based on our recommendation.
And
But if you hate it,
yeah,
just know that we warned you.
yeah.
Just know I've never seen it.
It's good, but not a movie you can just suggest to anybody.
I will highly recommend watching Practical Magic all day, every day.
Oh, that's just a feel-good, fun time.
Solons is a
Kieran,
Indie film
guy.
Yeah, he's making like subversive, like character study movies.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito.
But obviously well respected because he doesn't have a whole lot of money to be making these, and he's pulling big casts, so people want to work with him. But yeah, two very different films.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk some Judgment Day. WWF Attitude Package before highlights from the past few weeks with Vince quotes. McMahon wants to humble Austin's as Stone Cold had violated him and made his life hell. So he will give them the indignity of raising either the Undertaker or Kane's hands.
Still have McMahon's voice in my head. You violated me! You violated me!
The brothers are in the main
does that
event
feel?
because they didn't hold up their end of the deal.
Not only that, they attacked the hell out of him.
But if Austin doesn't do as he's told, Stone Cold will be fired.
Oh no!
And narration kicks in with, the unholy shall stand before him, and the wicked humbled at his feet, for Judgment Day is upon us.
Great, now I want some chicken fingies.
We then see a CGI scene leading down a tunnel with a countdown to a rocket launch, leading us into the arena with pyro going off, and Jim Ross welcoming us to the show, joined by Jerry the King Lawler.
What does everybody want?
Judgment!
Our first match, Al Snow with Head versus Marvelous Marc Mero with Jacqueline. Because, this match was completely set up on the Go Home Raw.
Totally. I mean, he came down and pulled a...
Wasn't it Jarrett that
Yeah.
he put the head?
Yep, that's true. That's what happened. I guess we'll find out what happens with Jeff Jarrett.
So Snow takes the mic to welcome everyone to the Sack and Save, where it's double coupon night. What does everybody want? Need and love.
Head!
That is definitely what everyone screams.
Judgment!
And after Mark makes his way to the ring, Jeff Jarrett interrupts,
Oh, thanks for coming.
demanding to take Mero's place, because he wants Al.
Hey, see, look. There we go.
So while everyone's distracted, Mark attacks Snow, only for Al to fight back to nail a power slam, clotheslines, and turnbuckle smashes for a 2 count. And Mero escapes a headlock with elbows, punches, and a leaping elbow before threatening to punt Head. Snow responds with an inside cradle for a near fall. And the two duck each other's moves when Al would deliver a DDT and a moonsault, when Jackie would jump on the apron to distract, allowing Mark to hit a low blow and a DDT for a 2 count. And Mero would chokes on the ropes, followed by Jacqueline doing the same, before a knee lift and a Mero-sault by Mark for a near fall. Snow rallies with headbutts, an enziguri, and a sit-out spinebuster. And he heads up top, only for Jackie to pull Mero to safety from another moonsault. And Mark capitalizes with a roll-up and a Samoan drop, followed by the Marvelocity. But Al moves in time and makes the cover for the pin. And no, Mero gets his boot on the ropes.
Devastating move to not land the Marvelocity, because he just falls like a rock onto that mat face first.
Mark then attempts a TKO, only for Snow to block and counter it into a snowplow for the pin and the win.
Thanks for coming.
Marvelous, Mark. Another marvelous win. Wait, loss. There we go. That's the word I was going for, not win.
JR then sends it to a clip from Sunday Night Heat, where we see Austin headed to the locker rooms, only for the Stooges to force him into the referee's room, which was basically a broom closet. So Stone Cold throws Mike Chioda out.
I mean, yeah, they're just trying to add insult to injury.
Yep.
Try to keep the man down.
Mike Chioda can never be in the right place at the right time. He always gets his ass thrown out of somewhere.
We then go to our second match. The Disciples of Apocalypse,
Ugh.
a Skull, 8-Ball, and Paul Ellering versus Legion of Doom 2000 of Road Warrior Hawk, Road Warrior Animal, and Droz.
So, I mean, obviously we get a big pop for LOD because we're in Chicago, baby.
An 8-Ball takes down Animal with a big boot and a swinging neckbreaker for a 2 count. Only for the Road Warrior to fire back with a clothesline and a drop kick that sends the Disciple to the floor. Hawk tags in and is dropped with a sloppy power slam, so he shows 8-Ball how to do it properly.
I bet he did.
Followed by a clothesline, a hangman's neckbreaker, and a falling fist for a 2 count. Droz enters the fray with a leaping back elbow and goes to run the ropes, where Skull nails him from the apron, allowing the Disciples to cheap shot Droz off and change the momentum. And Droz is being isolated in his opponent's corner, where they use ref distractions, chokes, clotheslines, and side slams to keep up the attack. Ellering even tags in for a quick drop toe hold and kicks, before bringing his partners back to continue the punishment, until 8-Ball telegraphs a back body drop, leading to Drozdov delivering a DDT and making the crawl for the hot tag. Hawk cleans house with right hands and clotheslines, knocking Paul out of the ring, followed by Animal jumping in with a leaping shoulder tackle and lifting Skull up on his shoulders for the Doomsday device. But Droz shoves Hawk away to make the cover for the pin and the win, leading to the Road Warrior to just stare down Drozdov in disbelief.
Stealing the win like
that.
You son of a bitch. This happened. We watched it.
Yep.
And this will be the last time we will see Road Warrior Hawk. The last time we will see the Disciples of Apocalypse in the WWF. And we won't see Paul Ellering again until 2016.
Wild.
It's so funny that is he still working in WWF right now?
No, he got released.
Yeah, he got let go
I mean,
a couple times over the last 7 or 8 years.
yeah, just one of those things where like, oh, and Paul Ellering's here. I'm like, okay.
Paul
Weird.
Ellering looked a whole lot bigger in this match than I remember him. I always had this vision of him in my mind, of this like frail old man.
He was a bodybuilder just like
Yep.
the Road Warrior.
Yeah, it's
for
just
a
that
while.
he kind of like covered it up back in the day.
Yeah,
Like
he always
you know.
had his leather on and whatnot to make him just look like a regular dude.
But yeah, no, I was like, oh, he's got some guns.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to our third match. Christian with Gangrel versus Taka Michinoku with Yamaguchi-san for the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship. And we haven't seen this belt be defended since Raw, June 1st, 1998, episode 306.
A little bit.
A little while. And our competitors trade strikes and reversals until a clothesline sends Christian to the floor, followed by Taka springboarding out atop him with a plancha as we see Edge watching from the crowd.
Edge game.
Sorry, Edge. You're not even allowed in this Judgment Day.
You got Skybox money?
Christian hits a pair of shoulder blocks to attempt to re-enter the ring. Michinoku gets a knee up on the second one, leaving Christian draped on the ropes. So Taka flies off the top with a knee to the back. And Christian responds with a reverse DDT, a drop kick, and rolling suplexes into a sit-out front suplex for a 2 count. But Michinoku escapes to a chinlock to run the ropes, only for Christian to low bridge them to send Taka tumbling to the floor. Christian then springboards out with a plancha of his own before powerbombing Michinoku back inside for a near fall.
We're getting Edge chants in the crowd, which is kind of funny because he's not in the ring.
Nope.
They just showed him on the camera for a second.
Christian heads up top where he flies off with a splash, but Taka rolls away to avoid, firing up to deliver a drop kick and a baseball slide to knock his opponent outside, followed by an Asai moonsault. And Taka rolls Christian back in to nail chops, only to charge into a back body drop out to the apron. Michinoku answers back by yanking his opponent down and heading up top for a crossbody, which Christian uses the momentum to roll through for a 2 count. And Taka floats over a body slam attempt and delivers an O'Connor roll for a near fall, before Christian floats over a body slam attempt and attempt a roll-up of his own, only to be blocked and drop-kicked by Michinoku for a 2 count. And Christian's whipped back and forth, but he recovers to nail a Russian leg sweep for a near fall, followed by going for a powerbomb, which Taka flips out of and hits a tornado DDT. Michinoku then attempts his finisher, only for Christian to roll him up for the pin and the win. And new!
Really didn't expect that. Bravo. I really liked Jerry Lawler's puffy shirt joke. Need a Seinfeld reference.
Ow. Like I'm trying to remember.
Seinfeld?
Say Seinfeld.
So I wasn't quite sure when they left the WWF, but it's right around this time. So we won't see Dick Togo again until 2002. And we have seen the last of Men's Te'o, though he's still wrestling as of March of this year.
Damn.
So is Taka, but he's sticking around for a bit.
Yeah. Well, Taka and Funaki, they'll stick around for a little while.
Kai and Tai is still here for a bit.
JR and Lawler then discussed the Goldust Val Venis feud, with Ross saying it could have originated on the Jerry Springer show, before sending it to a video package, where it cuts back and forth between the righteous Dustin Runnels and the porn star. Dustin would jump out of the crowd to attack with a sign, choking him out with a belt, which prompted Val to bring Runnels' wife into the fray, making videos with her and leaving Dustin distraught. Venis and Terri would be making out when Goldust would announce his return on the Titantron, followed by shattering Val's dreams on an episode of Raw.
Kicked him in the balls.
So we go to our fourth match. Val Venis with Terri Runnels versus Goldust. And Val tries to greet the ladies.
Hello.
But his mic stops working, as the Golden One interrupts to say, "Hello, Val. It's showtime." Boom. I was like, did he call him? He just stole Sting's catchphrase.
He didn't throw out the woo, though.
No,
But it's a 24 karat picture. What are you supposed to say? And a thing that happened earlier on Heat, Goldust sent a package to Val Venis. He opened it, and it was a gold athletic supporter.
Yes.
A cup, if you will.
A cup of a different nature.
A cup with a couple of holes in it. A cup for your balls.
So the two start off brawling in and out of the ring, with Goldust tossing Venis into the railing and dropping him face first onto the ring steps.
And I couldn't be more impressed with the pop that Goldust gets, considering how over Val Venis has been. And I was impressed with how they took Goldust away long enough for everybody to care about him coming back. It's like, how about you do this dog shit thing that nobody likes for a while, and then we'll bring it back up and we'll get some more juice, squeeze some juice out of the nugget.
Yeah, we're gonna give you some Luna time. We're gonna give you some blue hair or green hair or whatever it is. You're gonna wear some women's clothes at times, but you know what? It's okay because we've had you do that before.
We're gonna have you preach the good word.
Yeah, and then we're gonna let your wife get in bed and stimulate giving head to a porn star.
Yeah, you're gonna come back dressed in gold.
Yep.
And Val recovers to fly off the top with a plancha before they return to the ring, with Venis going for a top rope double axe handle, only for the Golden One to catch him in the gut on his way down, followed by a Manhattan drop, a slingshot back suplex, and arm work. And Goldust sends Val to a corner, but Venis avoids a charge in to send the Golden One crashing into the turnbuckle, leading to Val focusing on the shoulder with a hammerlock body slam, elbow drops, and a short arm scissor. And Venis keeps up the attack with a clothesline, a Russian leg sweep, and a power slam for a 2 count, before going up top, where Goldust meets him to deliver a superplex for a near fall.
You'll love to see it.
And the Golden One misses a second rope elbow drop, allowing Val to lock on a sleeper. But Goldust escapes by running his opponent into the turnbuckle and applies a sleeper of his own, which is escaped with a back suplex, leaving both men down momentarily. But the Golden One regains control with a back body drop and a bulldog, when Terri would get on the apron to yell at her husband that he has ruined her life.
I mean, she's the one cheating.
Yeah.
Technically, he got with Luna first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes and no, because, if you go back a year, there's the whole Pillman situation, which she wasn't innocent in, for all we know.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
They both got some issues.
Yeah.
They got some ghosts.
Yeah.
Skeletons in their closet.
They could use some relationship therapy, whether or not they're in a relationship.
The Runnels are running rampant.
Absolutely.
And the distraction enables Venis to attack from behind, only for Goldust to duck, causing Val to almost hit Runnels. So while the ref is making sure Terry's safe, the Golden One nails a low blow to the Big Valboski for the pin and the win. Post-match, Venis is writhing in pain, so Runnels helps her man, while Goldust blows kisses and presents his ass to her.
Goldust is wearing his wedding ring during this match, you guys.
Yep, they did point that out when his glove comes off at some point. He's not over it.
And see, that was the part where it was like, all right, this is going to be the swerve, and this is where he's going to get Terri back, huh?
He should have worn
She's going to wear her ring.
Yeah, and Goldust, he telegraphed it. He gave him the golden cup, and he didn't wear it, and he gave him the out. If he had that golden cup on, would have went in his favor.
Yeah.
Would
have shattered a forearm instead of his dreams.
But this is how you heat a guy back up.
Yep.
You didn't, and then what's great is they didn't even take him
ice cold.
They didn't even take him off of TV. They're like, all right, this Goldust, Pillman passes away. He starts doing the extra crazy artist formerly known thing. That gets out of hand. Then they make him just basically waste everybody's time and be annoying for a while. And they bring him back here, and he's more over than Val. Granted, he's been around longer, but yeah, it's how you do it. I was impressed. A lot of times you got to send the guy home. They didn't even have to do that.
Michael Cole is in the back where he's talking about how Triple H had to turn over the WWF Intercontinental Championship to Ken Shamrock earlier in the night on Sunday Night Heat. Having 2 words for him.
What could they be?
Cole then sends it to footage from backstage where we see Ken talking to the Stooges when Hunter sends a warning as he's getting into his car. But Shamrock doesn't want to wait, slamming the door into Triple H's knee.
I love it. Causing further injury.
Michael gives an update on Hunter, saying the attack is putting him in the hospital in serious condition, having re-injured the knee. X-Pac then interrupts Cole, saying he doesn't know what Ken's deal is. He's been acting like a jack-off lately, so the kid promises to deal with him later. But right now, he's going to take back his European title. So we go to our 5th match. X-Pac with Chyna versus D'Lo Brown for the WWF European Championship. And since D'Lo won the belt, he's moved to Milan, Italy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. European champion.
All over Europe.
He's got to live in Europe. Otherwise, they just strip him of the title, right?
And our 2 competitors trade strikes, headlocks, and shoulder blocks, when Brown would take control with the clothesline, body slams, and elbow drops.
Much to the chagrin of the fans, who are loving to say that D'Lo sucks.
And the kid avoids a corner charge, hitting a hip toss, strikes, and a spinning heel kick to knock D'Lo down, allowing X-Pac to attempt a Bronco Buster, only for Brown to get a boot up to his DX. D'Lo then nails a standing leg drop and a running powerbomb for a 2 count, before wearing down his opponent with a chin lock. But the kid rallies with a crossbody, only for Brown to use the momentum to roll through for a near fall. And D'Lo goes back to the chin lock, with X-Pac escaping with elbows and kicks, but he misses a leg lariat into a corner, allowing Brown to deliver a second rope knee drop for a 2 count. And D'Lo continues the punishment with a backbreaker and a Texas cloverleaf, only for the kid to break the hold with a right hand. But again, Brown breaks his momentum with a body slam and heads up top. And X-Pac avoids a flying somersault senton, leaving both men down, when the kid would fire up with strikes, spinning heel kick, and a leaping clothesline, followed by a drop kick that sends D'Lo into a corner, where X-Pac is finally able to nail the Bronco Buster.
The crowd goes wild.
And as Brown is making his way back to his feet, Chyna gets a shot in from the floor as well, knocking D'Lo down with the kid making a cover for a near fall. Brown is sent to the ropes where he runs into the ref, sending him tumbling to the floor, which brings out Mark Henry, while X-Pac hits a back suplex in the ring.
Ref bump.
And Mark distracts Chyna when D'Lo would roll out to grab the title, smashing the kid right in the face, followed by Henry rolling Mike Chioda in to make the count for the pin. And no, X-Pac kicks out.
Oh my gosh.
Brown continues with another powerbomb for a 2 count
Sucks.
before heading up top, where he flies off with the lowdown. But the kid counters it into an X Factor for the pin and the win. And new
I mean, what a sick finish. Kid's to his feet. He's already on his way down. He just jumps up and sits out.
It's a fun finish.
Driving his face into the mat.
We go to the back with Michael Cole. And he says there's a rumor floating around backstage that Paul Bearer has entered the Undertaker's locker room.
Uh-oh.
When the Headbangers would interrupt, because they want to talk about the New Age Outlaws.
Okay, let's hear it.
Thrasher says Road Dogg trashed their boombox with his face, so they can't listen to Marilyn Manson backwards.
How do you do that on a CD player, guys?
Spin it.
The CD?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Just checking. I wasn't sure. I don't know. Yeah.
Followed by having 2 words for Billy Gunn. You suck.
Ooh.
I mean, come on, guys. You're making yourselves look like dorks here.
He's a scissorer. You should know this.
Mosh chimes in that the Outlaws only tag team each other, but tonight they will do the JOB on the PPV.
Yeah, this is like the most they've ever talked, and
it shows.
yeah, it sounds like they want to be like
it sounds like they banged their heads
ECW
together for too long.
Public Enemy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty bad stuff. I mean, it came from a good place, but none of their lines were particularly good.
Yeah, they could definitely use a
Punch
Paul
up.
Heyman or something like that to speak for them.
I mean,
Alexander York needs to make a reappearance. And
it would be a waste of Paul Heyman's talents.
Mr. Mosh and Theodore Thrash.
Theodore Thrash.
So we go to our 6th match. The New Age Outlaws of Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn versus the Headbangers of Mosh and Thrasher for the WWF Tag Team Championships
Of the world.
And the champions came out first. Foreshadowing.
I mean, I don't think so. That's just what the New Age Outlaws do. But
That's right.
well, because they do that, we'll notice it when it doesn't happen.
That's right.
And maybe it'll be like reverse, where they'll lose when they come out.
Shadow foring.
Oh, the
Shadow foring.
Uno reverse card.
Reverse card.
right.
Shadow foring.
Draw 4.
But while they try and do their spiel, the Headbangers attack before they can finish, with the 2 teams brawling until the Outlaws take control by tossing Thrasher to the floor and hitting a combo drop toe hold, shimmy shake knee drop to Mosh. And Gunn continues with a leg drop and a swinging neck breaker for a 2 count, followed by James hip tossing his opponent, only for Mosh to retaliate with an eye poke, allowing him to make a tag, with Thrasher rushing in. But he's taken down by a hip toss, a drop kick, and a shake, rattle, and roll right hand for a near fall, causing the Headbanger to beg off, only for the Road Dogg to keep it up with a corner clothesline.
Can you imagine begging off from Road Dogg Jesse James?
Nope.
Me neither.
Can't ever imagine that.
I mean, he could obviously kick my ass, but he's just, hard to take seriously unless he's got a microphone in his
We're going to
hand.
have a sing-off.
I'd love to see that.
James goes for a whip, leading to Mosh blind tagging and flying off the second rope with a crossbody for a 2 count, before the Headbangers team up for a leapfrog splash onto Road Dogg. Now frequent tags and stomps keeps James under control until Road Dogg avoids a charge into a corner, nailing a back suplex and making the crawl for the hot tag. Badass with right hands, corner splashes, and a clothesline to Thrasher to send him outside, followed by a gorilla press slam to Mosh. And Gunn goes to run the ropes when Thrasher would low bridge them, causing him to crash to the floor and allowing the Headbangers to toss him into the ring steps multiple times.
Dang.
Before rolling Badass back in for a near fall. Now chokes, chin locks, and double teams continue the punishment, when Gunn would rally with the head scissors, but the Headbangers prevent a tag with a jawbreaker for a 2 count.
DX.
Badass is being worked over with elbows, arm work, and clotheslines, followed by Thrasher locking on a sleeper. But Badass fires up, tossing the Headbanger off, only to apply a sleeper of his own,
Who would have guessed it?
which Thrasher escapes with a back suplex.
Is it possible to receive a sleeper and not return the favor? Not unless you actually go out.
Yeah, pretty much. And Mosh tags in to team up for several corner splashes, but Gunn catches Mosh to drop him with a back suplex, leaving everyone down momentarily. And Badass begins to make the crawl, when Thrasher would run in to knock Road Dogg off the apron, allowing the Headbangers to deliver a double flapjack and set up for their finisher, only for James to run in with a boombox to smash over Mosh's head for the disqualification.
I mean, we know it wasn't a JVC.
Because it broke.
It broke.
I mean, I think they took all of the guts out of this thing. It shattered like it was never glued together in the first place.
Post-match, Road Dogg kicks the Headbangers out of the ring and throws the pieces of the weapon out onto them as they leave to the back, while the Outlaws finally are able to get their spiel in so everyone can scream those two words.
The first word is suck, and the second word is it, I believe.
Yes, I was going to say seventh and match, but
We then get Michael Cole in the back again, where he has an update about Paul Bearer.
uh-oh.
And he can confirm that Paul went into Kane's locker room.
Oh, but did he ever go into Undertaker's?
It was just a rumor.
It's just a rumor. But he's for sure in Kane's?
Yes. He saw it with his own two eyes.
His own two little Michael Cole eyes.
When Mankind and Mr. Socko would interrupt. And Socko's mocking Ken Shamrock's, "I'm fired up. I'm in the zone." Before Cole asks Foley if his match with Ken will be brutal, which Mr. Socko definitely thinks will be as brutal as Shamrock's promos.
Oof.
Ouch.
Come on, Mick.
Mankind even calls them the second leading cause of teen suicide.
Dang.
What's the first one?
Probably cutting themselves.
Yeah, drugs, maybe. Depression. I guess probably depression. You do drugs when you're depressed. I get it.
Before talking up Ken, saying he knows his holds, but he won't make me submit. Foley then asks Socko what color underwear he's wearing, with Mr. Socko responding that Mankind is a perv. So Foley pulls the sock off to reveal black tape around his claw hand, meaning the answer is black underwear.
Yeah, I thought this was very bizarre.
It's possibly the worst promo that Foley's done.
Yeah.
I think so. Because he gets to that underwear thing by saying something about Ken's blue trunks or whatever. And it just feels that's like, how did you even, the mental gymnastics to even get to your joke, which isn't very good in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it is a low...
The Socko, I'm fired up, I'm in the zone, I was okay with that. And,
And then
you can't make me submit, I get that.
Being
but
as
then,
brutal as Ken's promos, cool, that's good.
You just let it go.
That's all, that's just stop.
And the he won't make me submit thing, great. But the teen suicide and the
Black
underwear thing was just like, no.
It sounds
these,
like
these don't work.
a full-blown McMahon suggestion, at least a later McMahon suggestion anyways.
Yeah, and I don't even know that Mick Foley at this point it probably gets to just kind of do what he does. They're not getting scripts quite the same as they do now, or how they have been for the last X amount of years. But it's like, this is one of your best promos, guys. So you just kind of as long as just talk about Ken, you got this. You got 30 seconds, and he only wrote 20.
So we get our 7th match. Ken Shamrock versus Mankind for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Champion came out first. Foreshadowing. And the two trade strikes and takedowns at first, with Foley attempting to mat wrestle with his opponent. Only for Shamrock to counter everything to gain control. And Mankind rallies by ramming Ken into a corner, followed by a corner splash. But a reversed whip allows Shamrock to nail a hurricanrana, before another reversed whip, this time by Foley, ends with Ken having a mouthful of the mandible claw.
No.
Only for Shamrock to bail to the floor to escape.
I love JR's little history lesson. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Sam Shepard. Are you guys? Mm-hmm. He was the guy that used mandible claw back in the day. He was maybe the guy that made it famous, but it was just one of those little JR history lessons.
See, in my mind, I was thinking Sam Shepard's an actor or something, but
maybe
I think somebody different.
Maybe maybe he's a singer, but I'm thinking if this guy's a wrestler that I wasn't familiar with. That's why I took notice of it, because I like JR's little. He likes to talk about older era of wrestling, and sometimes he drops names that we've never heard of. Yeah. Sam Shepard being one of them. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Ken then challenges Mankind to come get him, so Foley gives chase. But Shamrock rolls back in to gain the advantage as his opponent makes his way back into the ring with knees and chokes. More traded strikes leads to Mankind going for the claw again, only for Ken to block and take Foley to the outside, where he rams his opponent into the Spanish announce table. But Mankind returns the favor into the ring steps. And Foley grabs a chair, only for the ref to stop him from using it.
This damn ref and his stopping of the chairs.
Yeah.
But the distraction allows Shamrock to kick it into Mankind's face.
Damn.
Before picking up the steel to smash it over his head.
I mean, 2 for 1 here.
And JR and everybody else are wondering why it's not a disqualification as they roll back into the ring, where King continues the punishment with turnbuckle smashes, clotheslines, and targeting the claw hand. Foley then fires up only to miss a corner charge, followed by a belly-to-belly suplex by Shamrock. But Mankind rallies again to deliver a double-arm DDT, strikes, a running knee, leg drop, and a clothesline that knocks them both to the floor. Foley then leaps off the apron with an elbow drop before charging in for another clothesline, only for Ken to counter it into a power slam with Mankind's legs crashing against the steel steps.
Ouch.
Now back in the ring, Shamrock grabs an ankle lock, with Foley scraping, clawing, and fighting his way to the ropes to break the hold. But Ken just yanks him back to the middle of the ring to reapply the submission. But remember, Mankind doesn't want to submit to Shamrock, so Foley puts the mandible claw on himself and passes out for the win.
Love it.
Post-match, the Fiend announces Ken the winner by result of the claw, causing Shamrock to freak out.
I mean, he should be pissed.
Yelling, "I used the ankle lock!" Only for the ref to explain to him what happened.
Yeah, he couldn't see his face.
Which causes Ken to suplex Chioda.
Chioda getting thrown out of locker rooms and suplexed. Yeah, just...
Shamrock attacks Mankind until officials can arrive to pull him off, which allows Foley to retrieve Mr. Sacco to lock on the mandible claw to Ken. And Mankind talks to his friend as he's leaving, with Lawler wondering what Sacco has to say, while fans toss socks at Foley and into the ring.
I mean, it's been like 3 weeks, Matt. Yeah, 3 weeks, because the first show was of this like run.
Raw, and then Judgment Day.
Yeah, but it's like Sacco's been on TV like a total of like 90 seconds up until this point. Yeah. It's just insane that they ran with this so hard. The fans, that is, because this is just supposed to be a throwaway joke. And they play Mankind's music, even though Ken won, which I thought was funny.
Michael Cole's in the back again, and he's hoping to get a word with Mr. McMahon when the big boss man would stop him, saying he won't allow unauthorized crews back there. Do you think you could just knock on the door of the most important man in the WWF? Everyone goes through the boss man now, as he's the law, order, and justice of this company, before telling Cole to leave or I'll stick his nightstick up his ass.
I'd leave.
Yeah, I would too.
Boss man's probably got like 5 inches on me, at least. He's probably like 6'5" or something.
Something like that.
I ain't even 6 feet.
He's a big dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big guy.
And then, like we said last week, the fittest we may have ever been.
So we go to our 8th match. Mark Henry versus The Rock. And the story behind this match was that Henry and D'Lo Brown were upset that Rocky was focusing on things that were not the Nation. And to cement the end of the Nation of Domination, they even attacked the Godfather, leading to The Rock coming to Kama's rescue. as we discussed last
Yes,
week.
yeah, we're like, whatever.
There's stuff that we're not showing at times that would have helped this, but
at the end of the day, The Rock's so over, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yep.
And JR shows us some footage from Raw from last week where Marc and Brown had attacked Rocky during his tag match with Austin, leaving him laying. And Henry takes the mic to recite a poem for Chyna.
Hope it's better than last week's.
Now, last week, I asked for a chance, but everyone knows I loved you long before the implants.
It's already better.
But now, I'm wondering why you keep me waiting. Every place I've ever been and every place I've ever seen, I've watched the sunrise, and one day I hope to see my sunrise in your eyes. Or my daughter. It doesn't matter.
That got me really good.
All we need is to be together. Children are so much a blessing. This is what my heart's confessing. God will show you from above the many ways I express my love. Where do I go when we speak? I don't know, but there's only peace. But I just have to ask, why do you keep me waiting?
It's still a little overly long, but the jokes that are in it are very good.
I was waiting for you to actually make that rhyme.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm not a poet. I listen to a lot of rap music, but I don't do it. Because, well, that would just be terrible.
So as soon as The Rock hits the ring, they begin to brawl, with Rocky hitting several clotheslines and turnbuckle smashes, followed by a vertical suplex for a 2 count. And Marc rolls outside to regroup, only for The Rock to give chase, running Henry into the ring steps and attempting to slam his head into the announce table. But Marc reverses to gain control and take the fight back inside.
I found it interesting that Rocky immediately clotheslines Mark Henry to the mat. And Mark Henry's a big boy, but like people don't do that to Vader. So this kind of cements where Mark Henry stands as a big man in the company. Even I know it's The Rock, and he's fastest rising star at the moment, but Mark Henry's a big guy. They normally don't just take him down with one clothesline. So I thought that was something that got me thinking.
It's the electricity in that clothesline. That's what it is.
Yeah, sure.
And Marc answers back with a back elbow, clothesline, and chokes on the ropes. When The Rock would look to rally, but Henry would fend off the attack and take his opponent down with a clothesline and a leg drop for a near fall. And Marc would begin to wear down Rocky with a chin lock, only for The Rock to fire up, escaping with right hands and stomps, followed by a DDT and the People's Elbow for a 2 count.
People love that silly move that Mick Foley told them all.
I mean, it's the most electronic move in all of sports entertainment. D'Lo then comes running down to ringside, so Rocky takes care of him. But the distraction allows Henry to recover, delivering a clothesline and a splash, making the cover, with Brown holding The Rock's legs down for the pin and the win. Post-match, Rocky just kind of laughs off the loss.
Yeah, he looks back with anger and frustration and
gives a little grin and a nod.
Some self-confidence as well.
Before giving the People's Eyebrow.
No, I can't really do it very well. Yours is all right. Yours is pretty good. Shane?
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Man, now I can't.
JR then sends it to a video package on our main event, where we see highlights from the past few weeks of the interaction between McMahon, Austin, Kane, and Undertaker.
See the last 3 episodes of the show.
Vince's narration mentions that Stone Cold's reckless and careless behavior infuriated him. Stone Cold didn't care who he hurt, as long as he got to Mr. McMahon. Vince would then blame Austin for the brothers breaking his ankle, followed by Stone Cold saying he wasn't done with McMahon by a long shot, as we see the attack in the hospital and the destruction of the Corvette.
You violated me.
And Mr. McMahon promised to humble Austin, but Stone Cold vowed to raise his own hand after the main event. So Vince said if Austin didn't comply, he would be fired, while Stone Cold claimed McMahon didn't have the balls. So we go to our 9th match. Kane versus Undertaker for the vacant WWF Championship, with Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest referee. And both brothers are in the ring. They're conferring and shaking hands when the glass breaks, leading to Stone Cold making his way to the ring to pose to the crowd, followed by explaining the rules, such as no hair pulling, no low blows to the two brothers, and then flipping them both off.
Yeah, Stone Cold has silent movie comedy chops, basically. He can do it. And, I mean, everybody's popped on everything on this show, but Stone Cold Steve Austin pop is insane. He hasn't been in the ring yet. They saved him for this. He's a special guest referee. And everybody in the Rosemont Horizon goes batshit.
And the bell rings, and Taker attacks from behind with strikes and old school before running into an elbow in a corner. So Kane takes control with a power slam and clotheslines, which the dead man just sits up from. We get turnbuckle smashes and strikes to continue when the Big Red Machine would charge into a big boot, leading to an Undertaker clothesline for a slow 1 count.
Yeah, it's wide. He reaches about as far back as he can.
So Taker confronts Austin, only to turn into Taker taking him down for a fast 2 count. And the Big Red Machine knocks the dead man out of the ring with a big boot and a clothesline. But Undertaker drags his brother out for them to brawl on the floor, slamming him head first into the ring steps and the ring post.
Posted.
Stone Cold even offers Taker the TV cable to use.
So funny.
Only for the dead man to glare at him and instead choose a chair. Kane ducks the shot and takes control, slamming Undertaker's head into the announce table and ring post.
Posted.
They return to the ring where the Big Red Machine telegraphs a move, allowing Taker to hit a vertical suplex, only for Kane to be to his feet first to clothesline his brother down. And the Big Red Machine goes for a power slam and a back body drop, with the dead man blocking both and kicking away at the leg of Kane, working it over with elbows, holds, and apron attacks.
And during this whole match, everybody is just chanting Austin, except for the moment right after Kane clotheslines the Undertaker. Undertaker is up and he blocks Kane, and they kind of lose the plot for a second. And everybody, not everybody, probably a third of the audience notices and gets the "you fucked up" chant. And I was like, oh, poor guys.
The Big Red Machine rallies with a side slam, elbow drop, but he misses a big boot. So Undertaker chop blocks the knee to refocus on the leg with a spinning toe hold and leg locks. Taker then places Kane in a tree of woe, stretching the leg on the ropes as Austin asks if he gives up, with the King wondering if he can even talk without his larynx device.
Like I said, Stone Cold's pretty good at this, comedy referee thing.
The dead man continues with chokes and strikes and charging into a corner, only for the Big Red Machine to catch and slam him down with a spine buster, followed by a clothesline and whipping his brother, boomeranging Undertaker right into Stone Cold.
Ref bump.
Sending Austin stumbling out of a corner right into a choke slam from Kane. The brothers now team up to beat down Stone Cold with stomps and elbow drops, when Taker would kick the bad leg of the Big Red Machine to take him down once again.
I know we were just in a moment of brotherly love, but it doesn't last that long when you're, a couple of undead freaks.
Kane reverses a whip and catches the dead man with a chokeslam, when Paul Bearer would make his way out to ringside with chair in hand. Paul climbs in and tells the Big Red Machine to hold Undertaker, but instead smashes the steel over Kane's head when he turns around.
Hell yeah.
Only for the Big Red Machine to no-sell the shot.
He just absorbs it and turns to attack his father.
Bearer's trapped in the corner when Taker would grab the weapon to clock Kane over the head, making the cover, but Austin ignores it and delivers a stunner to the dead man. Stone Cold also nails a chair shot, knocking the Undertaker out, leaving both competitors laid out, so Austin makes the 3 count.
The 3 count?
Yeah.
This blew my mind. Continue.
Post-match, Stone Cold takes the mic, declaring himself to be the winner, and daring McMahon to bring his crippled ass to the ring to fire him, But when no one comes out, Austin heads backstage, not being able to find him in the internet room or the locker room. Even Bruce Pritchard is no help.
I feel like there was somebody else in there too. Oh no, I think Owen
was in the locker room.
Owen was in the locker room, yeah. I was, whenever they go back there, you try to see who you can find in the corridors.
So Stone Cold returns to the ring when Vince's voice can be heard, followed by the Titantron raising up to reveal Mr. McMahon and the Boss Man like in a skybox with bulletproof glass around it.
I mean, this was the moment of the pay-per-view for me because of how funny and cartoonishly evil it was. It was throwback to our witch conversation at the beginning of the show. Very Wizard of Oz, but it was also very like evil villain lair, like a Inspector Gadget or insert like 80s cartoon villain here. Yeah. But it was just like, and I was here all along.
And Vince tells the fans to take their photos as it's the last time they'll see Austin. Stone Cold saying he can't hear him because of the fans chanting asshole. Asshole. The man then yells, Stone Cold, screw you. You're fired. With Austin asking him to repeat it, so Vince obliges. Stone Cold then says he may never step foot in a WWF ring again. But Mr. McMahon hasn't seen the last of him, as hunting season starts on Monday. So he wants the truck to play his music one more time before drinking some beers and posing as JR commiserates what just happened, followed by saying his goodbyes and fading to black.
And the glass breaks slowly.
For the last time?
I love that they were smart enough to put up that big plexiglass because they knew that everyone was going to throw shit because there's just like full soda cups and beers and shit flying at them. So good.
So I ask you, gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Judgment Day in your house?
I will say that one of the things I like the most about it is that this show didn't feel like a Raw. And the last handful of pay-per-views kind of had that feeling where it felt more like a Raw with a little bit longer matches because of all of the bidness that was going on between everything. And this one felt more like a pay-per-view. And, the main event took a long time, but it had a bit of gravity, even though nobody believes that Stone Cold's fired. Because it's just hard to believe, even at this point in 98. It's like, yeah, sure. But it went smoothly. There was some stuff on here I could do without, but a lot of those people we won't be seeing again anyway. I didn't hate this, but I don't know if there's anything here where I'm like, you gotta watch this match.
Yeah, I mean, kind of along those same things. It had its moments, but there was a lot of things that just, I don't know, they didn't pay off. The ending of the show I didn't really care for because the whole 3 count with 2 people, nobody actually taking a pin, that part didn't make any sense to me.
Just call
it made as much sense as the double pin of one person.
Yeah.
And neither one of them being champion.
Yeah.
Just count to 10 and then let them get up and stun them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like they were looking for shock value on this, but there wasn't a whole lot of shock value. Like it's
not compared to the last 3 weeks where there was like shocking or fun moments, and this one was like, it's like this moment kind of jumps the shark of what they've been building up, where it's like it just
there
did
wasn't
this
really a payoff for anything.
Everything
other
was
than Goldust getting his revenge on Val Venus. Everything else was just like, well, maybe they'll do more tomorrow on Raw because it just doesn't feel like they ended much of anything on here.
The like Stone Cold and Vince McMahon stuff has been like landing so well with like high and fun expectations that they just didn't nail it. They've been nailing it for like months now, and then this one was just like C-, and C- feels like an F when you've been giving us like A's, A+, and like B's at the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the build-up for this show, last 3 weeks,
all 3 Raws building up to it,
fun shows, it makes this pay-per-view disappointing in my eyes.
I guess when I said that I liked it that it didn't feel like a Raw. In hindsight, it probably should have felt more like a Raw because we didn't really see Stone Cold until the end of the show. We didn't really see Vince until the end of the show. And like, if you could have found a way to thread that, then it probably, and also have a better finish.
Now, I do feel like anything was just outright bad
No.
on the show, but much of it felt flat.
Yeah, like flat or incomplete or something.
Crowd pulling a lot of the weight. If the crowd wasn't into this, the show would not have been as easy of a watch. Yeah. And there was some stuff in here that was kind of tough for me.
I mean,
but everybody knows what those things are.
Most WWF shows here recently have been the first hour or so of the show have been just kind of like whatever, and then the main event made up for it. I actually think the first hour of this show was probably the better half of the show.
And then the main event was like, huh?
I think it was like the finish is a big issue because I think like Kane and Undertaker and Stone Cold in ring was good and compelling. It's just that the way it ended and then the reveal just kind of felt like we started in the same place that we finished, and that's not a good way to end a pay-per-view. Something has to change, even if it's only 30%. And it's like, you said you fired Stone Cold Steve Austin. No matter how big of a, like, you know, Marc you are in 1998, even if you're a 10-year-old, you don't believe that Stone Cold is fired.
Yeah.
It's like he's just going to show up next week with a different crazy...
He's going to show up tomorrow.
Yeah, in a Hess truck.
That's right.
And he's going to drive it through McMahon's house or something.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right, fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show?
I really liked that Mark Henry pinned The Rock. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
That really tickled my fancy because I didn't expect it. And then, of course, all of the love for Goldust had me feeling some kind of way.
I'm loving that we're hopefully putting a rocket on Christian here.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, literally, it's our first match that we've seen him, and now he's a champion.
Yep.
And it was good.
I mean, it wasn't... It got off to a what the hell are they doing this match for feeling at the very beginning with Al Snow and Marvelous Marc, but I mean, it was a fun start to the show. The little Jarrett interruption there kind of tied things together a little bit.
It was weird because Jarrett comes out for a second and then he just disappears. Yeah. So, and then by the time the match was over, I forgot that Jarrett never came out.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, oh yeah.
And it's Jarrett and Al Snow that have the feud going on. So it's just like, that's what I was just like, why are we not doing that match?
Yeah.
Like, that makes more sense to do that match.
And that would be a better match, no offense to Marc Mero, but I can see Jeff Jarrett and Al Snow looking real good together in the ring.
X-Pac and D'Lo were fun.
It was a good match.
I mean, I think that's the best match of the show.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are your quote-unquote like work rate guys.
Yeah.
Got some experience with each other, so...
As corny as it was, I enjoyed the Mankind submitting himself to his own move.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm okay with that because he says it in his promo.
Yeah. He won't make me
he
tap.
won't make me
he does say it in his promo, and I think that it is, you know...
So they telegraph it. Once they telegraph it, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
If it had come out of nowhere, then it would have been a silly finish.
It was still surprising to me. But it makes sense with how crazy Mankind is. It was just one of those things where, like, it was a clever way to give everybody blue balls. Where it's like, oh, Shamrock is obviously pissed and we didn't get a satisfying ending, but that was the whole point. Mankind's a maniac. He's not interested in giving anybody a satisfaction. He's got his own motivations.
I mean, not that I despise her or anything, but it was nice to have a Sable-free show. She didn't really come out there and steal a spotlight from anybody or
quick question.
Have a battle with Jackie that nobody cared about.
Would you rather have had her battle with Jackie or DOA and LOD 2000? Where we...
Well, the thing is, like, and obviously we're not going to see it, but LOD 2000 had started a storyline where Hawk is coming back from his thing,
Yeah.
from being gone, and Droz is like trying to basically take his spot.
Yeah, they talked about it enough
And
that I understood it.
obviously, so there's a story behind the match, so I'm not mad at that match.
I just
Obviously,
didn't like
we,
the match.
we don't get to see, I mean,
Yeah.
DOA and LOD, they fought so many times, and it's just like, we don't want to see this anymore.
There was a
I get
purpose,
it, but
yeah.
there was a purpose to the match, so I get it. It was in Chicago. LOD's going to get the pop that they're going to get. But once again, we're not going to get to see the fruitions of the storyline at all, which it's not a great storyline because, I mean, you know how Hawk gets written off, right? Basically,
Trying to remember.
jumps off the Titantron.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Yeah, Droz
He tries to fly.
Droz basically gaslights Hawk, and basically says that he's the one that has been feeding the painkillers, and so Hawk like climbs the Titantron and
Kills himself?
He jumps off, and that's how he's written off.
That is incredibly bizarre and dark.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Man.
He got his wings.
That's insanely upsetting and weird.
yeah, it's pretty sad. How about most disappointing?
I have
Still no finish.
I'm gonna go with Mankind's promo.
Yeah.
That's the thing that disappoints me the most.
Yeah,
out
it
of
was
the show.
it was good up until it wasn't, and then it was
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Like,
We don't really have an ending to the show. Belt.
Yeah,
We
the
don't have
ending
a
is-
champion still.
the ending's just
The thing is
crazy.
like the biggest issue with it is that Stone Cold doesn't look like the smartest guy in the room, and that's the thing that he needs to be the like boldest and smartest guy in the room, even when he does things that on paper are stupid. In this, he just looks like an idiot.
Well, literally, Austin takes the mic, does his whole spiel. He leaves to the back. He comes back out. Undertaker and Kane just like gone.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they go? Wait, why is this match over with?
Mm-hmm.
It made the top three guys in the company look like fools, not like in a pointed way, but as soon as you take a second to think about it, everybody kind of just looks dumb.
And I'm also Mark Henry and Rock having a match here. It makes no sense. I mean, I talked about it last week.
I mean,
show,
it does because he
like,
attacked him, but that was
It does.
that was yeah.
But how they got to it's dumb. But also, The Rock's the number one contender
He just
for the
lost to Mark
title,
Henry.
and he just lost to Mark Henry.
But they're cheating.
They're cheating. I get it.
But still, yeah.
But like, also that match shouldn't have been the
Bathroom break before the main event.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess technically, but you're not going to take a bathroom break for a Rock match.
No.
So it shouldn't have been.
Uh-uh.
It shouldn't have been in that spot.
I guess that's kind of my surprise of the night is that Mark Henry pinned The Rock. 'Cause I had
With as stupid as that.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, there's a 99% chance that The Rock wins this if you asked me right before the match.
As stupid as the New Age Outlaws Headbangers match was, that should have been the match before the main event, just to give people a little break. Because
I actually think
Wait, Outlaws are
that
usually
match
over.
was good until the heat section went on too long, and then the finish was horrible. Like, I agree, the finish was horrible, but it was a good match
It's the best Headbangers match. probably.
until, like I said, until
Yeah.
the heat section went on way too long. Like, do the heat section on Road Dogg,
Especially,
make the hot tag. Billy Gunn
yeah.
does the cleaning house, and also, why would Road Dogg grab the boombox? Shouldn't the heels be the one that used the weapon?
Yeah, but the New Age Outlaws, it's a new age for
They're
Outlaws.
You guys get no.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Face
Like,
is doing heel shit.
The
Mike
the
would say.
logic behind it was not amazing.
No.
Sloppy.
Best performer of the night.
X-Pac.
I mean, yeah, I could give it to X-Pac or D-Lo. I can't give it to, unfortunately, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean, it could be Shamrock again.
Yeah. I mean, Stone Cold was great in the match, but at the end, it just is like, what is this?
I mean, if Mankind's promo had been better, it'd be him.
Yeah.
But that promo just like bums me out completely.
Yeah. I remember my surprise that I was trying to think of. was that we were getting Edge chants during the Christian and Taka match. I didn't realize that people gave enough a shit about Edge at this point, because
They just want to see what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
Are you going to be a vampire or not?
But everything's hot. They're into this, but them chanting Edge during the Christian match was something where I was like, I wasn't ready for this. I didn't think anybody actually gave a shit.
Christian could always be our best performer too, because he came out there without having anything and won a belt.
Yeah, there were some good performances on here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And most surprising? I mean, you've mentioned a few.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, did we already do that? But the Edge thing really surprised me. I don't know that if I was surprised or elated at how much everybody was cheering for Goldust, considering how over Val has been. But they were just like happy to see a guy that's been a solid hand for longer than I remember. Because it's like when they did that package last week on him, talking about him getting the IC belt from Razor, and was it 96? It's only been like 2 years, but yeah, Goldust was all over this show for a while.
See, I think my surprise would be the Mankind promo, because
he normally doesn't drop the ball like that.
Yeah.
And he only did it for that last third.
Like
those last 3 lines. Yeah.
You should have stopped.
I mean, come on, guys. Bruce Pritchard got name dropped on the show.
Yeah, he was like, can I get a tape of that?
Making their way to the ring.
It's trivia time.
Uh-oh.
This week, the category is the numbers game.
Oh, man. I love the numbers game.
So for 3 points, it's Price is Right rules. How many times has a champion came out first for a match in 1995?
How many shows did we watch?
52. No.
I think it's somewhere between 49 and 60 something probably.
42.
42.
Okay.
I got my number.
42 matches. How many times?
That's 42 shows.
42 shows. How many times did champ come out first? We'll just go with that number.
All right, show me those numbers. Shane with 9. Michael with 11.
Close.
Probably Michael.
Michael with the 3 points.
What was it, 13?
The answer was 22.
Oh, we were both way low.
Bonus question for 2 points.
Shit.
How many times did the champion win the match out of those 22 times? Once again, Price is Right rules.
Okay.
The champion came out first? Or no?
How many times did they win after
How
coming
many
out
times did the
first?
champion win
After
out of the
coming-
22 matches that they came out first?
Okay.
You still okay with your answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael goes 7. Shane goes 16. Michael gets the 2 points because the answer was 11.
Oh, it was my first answer.
Yeah, that would have been over either way, because my other answer was 13.
Your answer, I think, would have been more correct in 98, but in 95, we weren't swapping the rules up as much anymore. So a lot of the time the champion came out first, they lost in 95, because that was just kind of like the status quo.
I don't care.
Pre-attitude. I know. I was just explaining my logic. That's all. That's all I was doing.
Next week.
Okay, good. There's not another number.
It's like
For 1 point.
sometimes they go.
Who was the one who didn't lose?
Halloween Havoc, 1998.
All right, guys. We haven't watched a non-WWF show in quite some time. Are you excited to go to flip the channel?
I mean,
Are you excited to flip the
ordinarily
channel?
I would be, but going into this show that I know we're going into, I'm going to say no.
I have no idea what's going on over in WCW because it feels like it's been so long.
It's been a long time, but
So,
it's also Halloween Havoc, and you know what that
It's
means.
been 2 months since we watched a WCW show.
Yeah.
Crazy. Loco. Yeah. I mean, aren't you just ready to see
The black and white, and the red and black.
Yeah,
and
the jet black hair of
And
Bischoff.
the smoke of Warrior, and I don't know,
For all we know, Warrior's not even in the company by this time.
Oh,
Oh, he's there.
Oh, he's there?
He's definitely
Okay.
there.
we're We're going to try and
It's one of
recreate
the two
history.
main events.
Oh, okay. You're not ready to chant Goldberg.
I'm never ready to chant that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm right there with you, brother.
Music from this week's show is Double Threat by Bruce Chianese. And Stone Cold stood tall at the end of the show.
True.
So we're going to play Hell Frozen Over version 3 by Jim Johnston.
For the last time, as you know,
That's
he
right.
was
That's
fired.
right.
He was
He was
fired.
fired. So got it one last time. And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there and rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcast at.
Where do you find your podcast at?
If you're doing the YouTube thing, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell.
That's right. Share
Go to
it.
me.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, leave a comment or something.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Why not?
Put us up in the algorithms.
That's
It's kind of crazy to listen to a podcast that's not video on YouTube, but hey, I'm sure people do it.
Maybe you have YouTube Premium, you can actually turn your phone off,
Yeah.
so it makes a little bit more sense.
Spoiler alert, I've never watched a podcast. I've only ever listened.
I mean, yeah, they shouldn't. I hate that they're all
Well,
video now.
That's a whole different argument that
Yeah, I could rant about
podcasts
this.
are not a visual thing. They are an audio thing.
Some of them have become a visual thing, but I wish that never happened.
Yeah.
If you have
If
a
they're a
video
very
show,
attractive person.
you have a video show.
You have a show, yeah. If it needs to be seen, then it's a
I
YouTube
mean, but
show.
unfortunately, there are some video shows that do not need to be seen, and they could just be off the podcast.
That's most of them. Yeah. We'll never do video. Ever. So don't worry about it,
It's going
guys.
to take lots and lots of money from
That's right.
people that we're not even asking for at this point.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No way. That's so much work.
But see, ours is going to be different. We're not even going to have to ask. They're just going to start sending us money.
I mean, if I get enough emails going, hey, where can I send you money? I'll set something up.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a lot, though.
My Cash App is...
But if you have any, if you want to do that, or send any questions, comments, concerns,
Where are we going next?
Paradise, Nevada.
Ooh. Welcome to
Means
Paradise.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
The Paradise is where you can get prostitutes.
That's where the casino is.
But like I know in like Las Vegas proper, it's technically illegal. The Paradise is the place
Yeah,
where you
it's where the
can.
strip and
Yeah.
all the casinos are actually paradise.
Oh really? Okay. I was thinking that maybe I'm
Though
wrong.
everyone,
Maybe I'm wrong.
Everyone just says Vegas, but you're technically going to paradise.
It's so corny.
But yeah, give me some ideas, because I've been to Vegas once. I guess I've been there technically twice, but I didn't leave the airport one of those times.
Isn't it just a bunch of dog shit buffets,
yeah, it's been
drug
almost
addicts,
25 years.
You lose all your
gamblers?
money that time too?
No. I did not...
Because you can gamble.
Yeah, I did not gamble at a casino in the airport. I just had a Bloody Mary while I waited for the airplane, because I really wanted to leave the airport and go to X-Let, but I could not get there and back in time.
But you can send those to our email at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTO X. We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.